Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. This is your captain speaking here on Capnclydes MTG. The main set is done. It's time to hit up the new Commander cards. So let's run through them real quick and see what the new Commander decks have to offer for us. Don't forget, comment, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Comments down below, links in the description where to buy some cards, support the channel. Discord's coming. We got giveaways for members and for people who just watch the channel. All that good stuff's on its way in Halloween. Trick or treat, baby. It's that time. It's spooky season. Well, it might as well be. It's spooky season. It's close enough. It's September. So, without further ado, let's get into the Commander part because we got quite a few cards to go over as we look at all the decks of just the new cards. And they're pretty spicy. So we're going to start off with the first deck that was revealed, and that was Jump Scare. We have Kanan the Corrupted Memory, blue, green, and 2 for this 2/2 illusion. As long as the power is even of the cards, you may cast non-creature spells as though they had flash. As long as it's odd, you may cast creature spells as though they had flash. And whenever you draw a card, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. This is a powerhouse because it's just going to get bigger. Yeah. So, then we have Zamon's Hypothesis. 2 blue and 3 instant. Put a +1/+1 counter on a creature. Then choose odd or even. Return each creature with power of the chosen quantity to the owner's hand. 0 is even. Very interesting. I think it will see some play because it's not an entire board bounce, but it does let you pick, and it's 1 cheaper, so seems pretty good in my opinion. Next, we have the Glitch Pretender. Anyway, blue and 2 for this 2/3 wizard. Whenever it enters, if you control no face-down permanents, you return it to its owner's hand and manifest dread. Wow, that's cool. Whenever one or more colorless creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. Wow. So, yeah, that seems really good. I mean, you can play it for 3 to get you a guy, then put it into play and hit somebody to draw a card, and a lot of potential there. Let's see how good it is. Then we have They Came from the Pipes. This sounds weird. Blue and 4 enchantment. When it enters, you manifest dread twice, which is cool. Whenever face down creature you control enters, draw a card. Holy cow. Never mind, this is amazing. 5 mana, get 2 2/2s, and draw 2 cards for... This is going to be in every deck. All of them. Plus, it's an enchantment. You hear what I'm putting down? This is a permanent, which means it can be blinked or taken out of play and let it come back into play for on the cheap. So, yeah, this is going to be something. Then we have in the rest of the deck, we have the Curative Beastie, 2 green and 4 for a 6/6 with reach. Whenever creatures you control enter with 2 additional +1/+1 counters on them, and whenever the Beastie enters or attacks, you manifest dread. There's 3 great things on there: reach, shit gets bigger, and make dudes. Like, this is a great 6 mana card. That almost looks like a child book kind of style. I like it. I like that. Anyway, Disorienting Choice, green and 3 sorcery. For each opponent, choose up to 1 target artifact or enchantment that player controls. For each permanent chosen this way, its controller may exile it. Then, if 1 or more of the chosen permanents are still on the battlefield, you search your library for up to that many land cards, put them on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. That's probably just okay. Not gonna lie. Only because they have a choice, and sometimes letting you get land is probably not going to help that much. Next, we have our own room. We have the Experimental Lab / Staff. Why is the Experimental Lab and the Staff Room the same card? That's... Well, okay, let's be fair. In capitalism, that's pretty much the same room. Anyway, green and 3 for the Experimental Lab. Whenever you unlock this door, manifest dread, then put 2 +1/+1 counters and a trample counter on that creature. Wow, so... basically get a 4/4 with trample for 4 off the top of your deck. That's just great. And if you manage to flip it up, it's just even bigger. It's good stuff. Staff Room is a green and 2. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, turn that creature face up or put a +1/+1 counter on it. Oh boy. Yeah, experimental lab, baby. And then green and 2. It's coming in with trample. If I touch it, I'm flipping it face up. Yeah, good times. Then we have the Shriekwood Devourer, 2 green and 5 for this 7/5 trampling beast. Whenever you attack with one or more creatures, untap X lands where X is the greatest power among those creatures. Holy cow. You swing with this thing, you get to untap 7 lands. Jesus. And then we have the Giddling Skider Spike. That is just nightmare fuel. Every way, shape, or form. I'm pretty sure we've all dreamed of something like this at some point. When I mean dreamed, I mean a nightmare where you wish you could wake up. 4 Cuddlist for a 1/1 indestructible. I already don't like this where this is going. Whenever it attacks, blocks, or becomes a target of a spell, so just whenever it just breathes, it deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. Jesus. It attacks, it blocks, just... Okay. And for 5 Cuddlist, it has Monstrosity 5, meaning it's going to be a 6/6. Meaning it's going to kill your opponent really quick. Yeah. Break out them exile cards, boys. You're going to need them. All right, so that's Jump Scared. Next in here we have Miracle Worker. Good old Miracle deck. We have Slow Down is what we have. Calm down there, little fella. We have the Master of Keys, blue, black, white, and X flying. When the Master of Keys enters, put X +1/+1 counters on it and mill twice X cards. Each enchantment card in your graveyard has escape. The escape cost is equal to the card's mana cost, plus exile 3 other cards from your graveyard. That's not terrible. We have Cramped Vents as the first part of a room. Whenever you unlock this door, this room deals 6 damage to target creature an opponent controls. You gain life equal to the excess damage dealt. Well, that's pretty good. 6 damage for 4 mana. I'm not going to lie. Plus, there's some gain life in there if you need to. Then you have the Access Maze for 7. Once during each of your turns, you may cast a spell from your hand by paying life equal to the mana value rather than paying its mana cost. Jesus. How much free casting are we going to get before we just stop doing it because it's ridiculous? And what I mean by that is broken. Just broken. I mean, it's a good card. Like, anybody playing Black's probably going to play this damn thing. Especially if they have the ability to draw cards, keep their hand full, and gain life. And I mean, just what we do in Commander, right? So, next room we have the Secret Arcade. I'm down for that. And a Dusty Parlor. So, Secret Arcade, white and 4, non-land permanents you control and permanent spells you control are enchantments in addition to other types. There's probably a place for that. Dusty Parlor, white and 2. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, put a number of +1/+1 counters equal to that spell's mana value on up to 1 target creature. Okay, so there is a reason for the Secret Arcade. Because it just makes everything fucking huge. Yeah, this is going to be something. So, and next we have Phenomenal Investigators. I really don't like the art on that. Anyway, black, blue, and 2 for a 3/4. When it enters, you get to choose Believe or Doubt. Believe, whenever a non-token creature you control dies, make a 2/2 black horror enchantment token. Or Doubt, at the beginning of your end step, you may return a non-land permanent you own to your hand if you do draw a card. There's probably a place for that with flash creatures and what have you. Not too terrible. Next, we have the Metamorphosis Fanatic. Hey, look, a miracle card finally. Jesus. Anyway, 2 black and 4 for a 4/4 lifelinker. Whenever it enters, return up to 1 target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a lifelink counter on it. Or you could miracle it from the top of your deck for a black and 1. This is absurd. I mean, just casting it for 6, getting a 4/4 lifelinker, and putting something in your graveyard back into play is already good. The fact you could rip this off the top of your deck and get the big nappy out of your graveyard, put into play, and this thing is still a 4/4 lifelinker for a black and 1 is nuts. Meaning, I'm going to play it in my deck. Anyway, next we have the Redress Fate. 2 white and 6 sorcery. Return all artifact and enchantment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Miracle 4. Pretty good, not gonna lie. 4 is a bit much, but I mean, it's a thing. It'll happen. Next, we have the Ancient Cellar Spawn. Black, that's what he used to call me. Anyway, 2 black and 1 for this 3/3. Each spell you cast that's a Demon Horror or Nightmare costs 1 less. And whenever you cast a spell, if the amount of mana spent to cast was less than its mana value, target opponent loses life equal to the difference. Ooh, seems good. Then we have Fear of Sleep Paralysis, blue and 5 for a 6/6 flyer. Jesus. It has Eerie, so excuse me. Whenever this or another enchantment you control enters, or whenever you fully unlock a room, tap up to 1 target creature, put a stun counter on it. Stun counters can't be removed from permanents your opponent's control. That's the big deal. So you literally can lock down all your opponents, like, forever. It's really cool. It's called the Fear of Sleep Paralysis. I do like this card. It's good flavor. Good. Yeah. However, if you play this against me, I'm going to be upset. Next, we have the Soaring Lightbringer, a white and 4 for a 4/5 flying. Other enchantment creatures you control have flying. That's all we need. Whenever you attack a player, create a 1/1 white Glimmer enchantment creature token that's tapped and attacking that player. I mean, it's fine, I guess. It's 5 mana. Next, we have Endless Punishment. Dun, 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 dun. This one could be good. So, we'll start this one with the Lord of Pain. We can see right here, he's all up in the TVs. Red, black, and 3 for a 5/5 with Menace. Opponents can't gain life. I already like it. And then, whenever a player casts their first spell each turn, choose another target player. The Lord of Pain deals damage equal to that spell's mana value to the chosen player. Oh, this is a spell that's going to make the whole table hate you. And I'm down. I'm so down. Anyway, next we have Suspended Sentence, a black and 3. Destroy target creature and opponent controls. Player loses 3 life. Exile Suspended Sentence with 3 time counters on it. Or you could just suspend it for 3. So, okay, hang on. So if I'm reading this right, this is a removal spell that never goes away unless there's no targets. Because you destroy a creature an opponent controls. That player loses 3 life. Then you exile it again with 3 time counters on it. Am I crazy or should this been a mythic? Tell me down below. Anyway, we have Persistent Constrictor, black and 4 for a 5/3. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, they lose 1 life and put a -1/-1 counter on up to 1 target creature they control. And this thing has Persist. That's disgusting. So, yeah. That's going to be really good with the old Coiling Constrictor that's a green and black. Back in the day. Back in my day. Anyway, we also have the Sadistic Shell Game, black and 4 sorcery, starting with the next opponent in turn order. Each player chooses a creature they don't control and destroy the chosen creatures. So, yeah, I mean, 5 mana, everybody's killing something. And if you don't have a creature, well, that's just fine then. I think it's probably a pretty popular card in big group games. All right, moving on. Next for Endless Punishment, what else we got? Oh, we got a room. We have the Spike Corridor or the Tormented Pit. Spike Corridor, red and 3. Whenever you unlock this door, create 3 1/1 Red Devil creature tokens that deal 1 damage when they die to any target. 4 mana is not bad. It's actually cheaper than normal. Torture Pit for the exact same cost. If a source you control would deal non-combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage plus 2. So, basically, there are 3 little lightning bolts running around. I like it. Then we have the Star Athlete. 2 red and 1 for this 3/2 menace. Whenever he attacks, choose up to 1 target non-land permanent. Its controller may sacrifice it. If they don't, the athlete deals 5 damage to that player. Woo. And it has Blitz. Ah, dang. Oh, you forget what Blitz is. You can cast it for a Blitz cost instead. It dies and you draw a card. But just the ability to swing and make your opponent choose 5 damage or an item, that's pretty sweet. We have the Gleeful Arsonist, and that is definitely a smile on her face. Smile literally on, in, all over her face. Anyway, red and 2 for this 1/2. Whenever an opponent Cast a non-creature spell. The arsonist deals damage equal to its power to that player. It has Undying. So it starts at 1. It could be 2. Seems pretty good. Although it is 3, it's kind of sort of... it's a better goblin that does the same thing, but it's when your opponents do it, not you. So, we have the Barb Flare Gremlin, red and 3 for a 3/2 first strike and haste. Already kind of sweet. Whenever a player taps a land for mana, if the Gremlin is tapped, that player adds 1 mana of any type that land produced. Then that land deals 1 damage to that player. Ooh. So, basically turns every land into the City of Brass. Seems kind of cool. Don't know how much play it's going to see, but whatever. Then we have the old Seance board. About time we got a Ouija board in here. 2 colorless artifacts. It has Morbid. Well, that's different. At the beginning of each end step, if a creature died this turn, put a soul counter on the Seance board. I like that flavor. Tap, add X mana of any one color, where X is the number of soul counters on the board. Spend this mana only to cast instant, sorcery, demon, and spirit spells. That's an interesting rock, I will admit. I don't know how much I like it, but spirits and demons are very plentiful in Magic, so this might be a good rock for Commander, but it may not in some decks, so probably not going to be a staple in all decks, but it will be in some. All right, we're going to wrap this out with a Death Toll. Dun dun dun. Ba-dum-bump. All right, we have the Rindmaw Creaking Nest. Boy, that's nightmare fuel for you. Green, black, 3 colorless for a 5/5 menace reach. Whenever it enters and whenever you play a card with 2 or more card types, each player creates a tapped 2/2 black bird creature token with flying. The tokens are goated for the rest of the game. This is weird. Next, we have Convert to Slime. Green, black, and 3. Destroy up to 1 target artifact, up to 1 target creature, and up to 1 target enchantment. Delirium. 4 more card types in your graveyard. You can create an XX green ooze creature token, where X is the total mana value of the permanents you destroy this way. Whoa, boy. Holy cow. This is good. Casualties of War does the same thing for 1 more and gets 1 extra target. But this fits in very well with that card. You really keep your opponents just board clean. This is going to be a very good card. Surprised it's only a rare. Next, we have a room. We have the Polluted Cistern. For a black and 1, whenever 1 or more cards are put into your graveyard from your library, each opponent loses 1 life for each card type among those cards. That's very interesting. Especially for a mill deck. That's very interesting. We have the Dim Oubliette. I'm excited. 1 black and 4. Whenever you unlock this door, mill 3 cards, then return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Aw. It's fine. 5 mana. It does what you need to do. It says Oubliette, and Oubliette's an old card. And I was a little excited it might be similar. Anyway, moving on. Deluge of Doom, black and 2. All creatures get -X to the turn, where X is the number of card types among cards in your graveyard. This will probably be very popular. This isn't a good board wipe, and it's a minus effect, not a kill everything effect. As you know, more and more things are getting indestructible or shield counters or some way to not die. But if their toughness is 0, they're just dead. D-E-D, dead. So I like this one. I think it's going to be a popular one. For the rest of the deck, we have a Demonic Covenant, 2 black and 4 enchantment demon. Whenever 1 or more demons you control attack a player, you draw a card and lose a life. That can get out of hand quick. At the beginning of your end step, create a 5/5 black demon creature token with flying, then mill 2 cards. If 2 cards that share all their card types were milled this way, sacrifice the Covenant. All their card types? That's very specific, but it is what it is. In Commander, it probably won't happen, but, whatever. Next, we have Into the Pit. Black and 2 enchantment. Whenever you look at the top card of your library at any time, And you may cast spells from the top of your library by sacrificing a non-land permanent in addition to paying all the other costs. I kind of like that. It's going to be interesting because you can cast a card from the top of your library by sacking a card, and then sack that card to cast the next card from the top of your library. It's going to be interesting to see how this gets played. Then we have the Demolisher spawn, 2 green and 5 for a 7/7 trample haste. That's a big boy. Has Delirium, 4 more card types in your graveyard, and other attacking creatures get +4/+4 to end of turn when he comes into play. Whenever he attacks. Yeah, whenever he attacks, he just 4/4 for the team. Everybody, get some. Come get it. Very powerful. Then we have the Usin Monstrosity, green and 2 for a 3/3 Trampler. Yes, 3 mana, 3/3 Monstrosity. It's a Bear Mutant though, so hang on. At the beginning of combat on your turn, mill a card and choose an opponent at random. The Monstrosity attacks that player this combat if able until end of turn. The Monstrosity gains Indestructible and gets +1/+1 for each card type among cards in your graveyard. Oh, never mind. It is a Monstrosity. Holy cow, look out, boys. Here it comes. This is going to be big and probably die fast because you can't leave this thing on the table. This will get out of hand quick. This is not the Usain Monstrosity. This is Cocaine Bear. That's what this is, Cocaine Bear. That's what this is. Next, we have Formless Genesis, also known as Me on the Weekends. Anyway, green and 2, we have a Changeling Shapeshifter. This is a sorcery that create an XX colorless shapeshift creature token with Changeling and Death Touch, where X is the number of land cards in your graveyard. Ooh, and it has Retrace. So you literally can cast this for 0 because you might have to, and then start retracing it to get a 1/1, and then a 2/2, then a 3/3, all with Death Touch. Plus, you got fetch lands and other things going on. This is going to be very popular in green, I believe. Just saying. So, with all that said, guys, thanks a lot for your time. A little longer than normal, but a lot more cards to go through with all the different Commander decks. Till next time, be kind, and as always, I hope to see you across from the game table. Hopefully not playing any of this wild shit. Holy cow.